Leg bar. Bad man know they go house party. Bad man know they suck up Fanta. Bad man know they smoke Indian hemp. Bad man know they afraid anybody. Bad man know they do dick riding. Bad man know they do conconsa. Bad man know they chop a conconsa. Bad man know they chop a perpensa. Bad man, 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 bad man.
5 words. Let's see. I'm extremely focused. Determined. Well, I guess that kind of goes like let's see. I am loyal. I'll say I'm fun and energetic in a way, but still I'm an introverted extrovert. Yeah. How many did I name? Let's see, focus. And I'm just free-spirited. Yeah. Okay, so I've been dancing like my whole life. I started out with hip hop. So literally from being born in Brooklyn and being raised, like being sent to Nigeria at the age of 3. So I went straight into like boarding school at the age of like 4 or 5. Then we used to have like battles, like, you know, morning devotion, night devotion, like people would dance and party. So I've been dancing from there. Okay, so after I left Nigeria, I came back to America. And in high school, so I did like voguing, I did palms, I did more hip hop and ballet, modern. But then when I came to college, that's when I found Afrobeats, like my sophomore year of college. So with that, the African Students Association told me to like start a dance team. And then from there, literally things just like picked up. We started doing like off-campus shows, on-campus shows. I started doing my thing on my page just to experiment to see what I can create. And from there, it's just like, I would say I'm a general dancer. Like, I'm trained in a lot of different styles, but I choose to specialize in Afrobeats. But like the definition of Afrobeats is just like popular styles or popular music out of Africa. So basically, I would consider myself more of like an Afrofusion because I can do styles from South Africa, I can do styles from Angola, I can do West African street style, I can do a zonto, I can do Coupe de Calais. So it's like I'm a fusion, but I also do implement hip hop and other genres that I have. So yes, I do specialize on dancing to African music. I'm very passionate about pushing the African culture and creating structure for it in America. So yes, I do dance to African music, but I do implement a lot of different styles. Okay, I can only advise you based on my experience. So for me, basically, because dancers in America, like obviously, okay, for example, let's compare dancers in Nigeria compared to dancers in America. Every show that happens in Nigeria is an African show. So when you're hiring dancers, you're obviously hiring African dancers. In America, artists only come during the summertime. The majority of the time, they're not going to invest in dancers. So one thing I would advise a dancer, especially in America, is to create your own independence. So for me, as well as other dancers in America, we are creating a brand separate from the artist. I can travel. I've traveled. I've had 2 class tours where I'm literally funding myself, going to different countries, even in Europe, to teach, meet people, and make my money. So basically finding a way to brand yourself, finding a way to be independent from the artist. So when you now collaborate with an artist, it's not like an artist is hiring you, you are collaborating. So that's one thing. And then also like staying true to yourself is, I think, a life philosophy that everyone should follow. So if you have a certain lane, if it's just Coupe de Calais you're good at, if it's just like Pansula you're good at, if it's just like Afro House that you're good at, kill that lane. Like create that lane and always be open to learn. So I travel, I learn, I meet dancers who teach me, and I teach as well. So I would say like maybe not just YouTube. I would say like social media as a whole. Because the first video that put me on the scene was like a freestyle I did at the African Entertainment Awards with Eddie Kenzo when like City of Los was like huge. So that actually, at that time, I didn't really have social media. So someone had posted it on Twitter, and that just like go. So people are just like, oh my God, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? So I started getting like, Instagram and then Facebook and all this good stuff. So basically, it's kind of been like my outlet to like do whatever I want, because like there are no rules. At least for me, I don't feel like there are any rules. So it's like literally I just put it out there. If you rock with it, you rock with it. If you don't, keep pushing. So it's like, but it took time for that to happen, because like even though I was having viral like videos out there, I didn't have a tag, so no one could really be like, oh, at her. And I'm not the type of person to put my name on videos, because I think it makes it too busy in a way. So I had to kind of build relationships with dance pages that could repost my stuff, and that was hard. Or make content good enough to the point where artists start reposting it. So now I'm creating, they're seeing it, they're enjoying it, they're reposting it, their followers are coming to me. So it took time, but it was like something I enjoyed doing. Yeah. I would say like now, I would say, okay, basically, at first the goal still is to create a collective. So I'm trying to build like a dance agency. Like for example, commercial dance, they have like block agency in America, right? I want to create a agency. I already have the company. It's called Tribe. So basically trying to get people who are like-minded to come together, because when I first started Tribe, it was in college. So majority of the people who are like coming in to the dance team, it was kind of like, okay, I'm in college, I need to make friends, this is more of a social thing, it's an extracurricular activity. But for me, I already saw the vision like way ahead of time. So it's like, even though Tribe started in college, it kind of had to really, really start after college. So like now, as I'm traveling, I'm meeting people, I'm able to like use my influence, even if I hate saying that, to like, connect with dancers. So if, let's say an artist is like, yo, I'm about to go on tour, I need dancers to so place. I've already been to these different places, so I can link them up with like some dope dancers, you know what I'm saying? So I would say the challenge now would just be getting the artists to pay what a dancer is worth. Yeah, it's a thing everywhere, but it's like, okay, I think it's a cycle. This is my theory, right? Okay, so majority of the time, artists do not, how do I say this without being shady? Okay, so I think a lot of artists now, when they get this fame and they get this like, popularity, right? Now a lot of artists need to learn how to perform, or what it takes to put on a performance, right? Because a lot of the concerts and a lot of like the live performances just consist of like artists, let's say they have a band, and to them that's like, okay, that's it. Maybe they'll have dancers that they'll hire like a couple days before the show, so people are doing like last minute stuff, right? So I think like now we're in the culture where it's like, okay, the music is so powerful and it's like it's moving so far and it's like making people go into like these trance like moments, but it's like we're getting on bigger stages now, so now our performances need to like, step up like crazy. So now it's like explaining to him like, okay, there's a difference between doing nightclub performance and doing, let's say, Coachella performance, right? You're talking about 10 minutes and now you're talking about 30 minutes. To even practice for 30 minutes, you need at least, like, if you want it perfect, you need at least 2 weeks of practice. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, who's going to choreograph this 30-minute piece? These dancers, you're going to have practices. Maybe, let's say you're going to do a week, right? You're going to have like 4 to 6 hour practices every day. So you're asking a dancer to take out transportation, let's say transportation, food, time. Afterwards, you're telling the dancer to take maybe 8 hours out of their day. This is what people do for a living. So you have to factor all these things in, but people just think, just come on stage now, dance now. And we're just like, that's not how it works. Like, you guys are getting into these big places. You need to understand, like, you can't go on Coachella doing what you're doing at a club. You can't go to Global Citizens doing what you're doing at a club. It just doesn't make sense. But I think like slowly, as like dancers, like I said, keep building your independence, keep building your brand. You're able to now talk to artists like level to level, like, yo, bros, this is what it takes. What are you willing to create? You have the money. Let's make it work. Okay, if you can't do it this time, if you're not so sure, let me prove it to you one time. And then the second time you understand what the worth is. Because at the end of the day, it's like we're helping each other. Dancers influence music. Artists obviously make music. So it's like there's no dance without music and there's no music without dance. So get your ish together. Hey, look, if you interpret the music any way you want, and it's like, cause like, okay, some of the majority of these dances are created based on the environment they're in. So it's like, I can't really be like, that one is like bad, because it's like, okay, you created it based off your experience. I would say like, I don't really have like a favorite move. Maybe like a vosho, like from South Africa. Like I love South African dances. So like vosho, that's my thing now. That's like, yeah, that's my thing. I'm gonna just say the most recent one. So I had the opportunity to like choreograph for Olamide's concert in New York, like his opening concert in New York City. So I would say like that was like the first time that Duke, shout out to you, like that was the first time that I've seen a promoter actually like put in time, money, energy into creating a concert, like an actual show. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's still a lot that we need to work on. Concerts are not supposed to be starting at 2 a.m. Like, an artist is not supposed to be touching the stage at 2 a.m. But it's like, still, like, he had the stage, he had the lights, he had, like, masquerades, he had, like, you know, like, to create the whole shaku vibe. Like, he was creating a lot of different vibes in one show. And then, obviously, giving dancers, like, creative control. We had, like, about 20 dancers, like, literally, you know, being able to come on stage and create a piece that can highlight the artist, but also be a standout piece on its own. So I would say like that so far, because like my goal is to be a choreographer, and I love live performances. So I would say that so far, even though I've done some amazing things, I would say like that so far has been a monumental moment. Yeah. Let's see, worst experience. Okay, it wasn't actually a gig, but it was like a negotiation that went really bad. So literally, this was like when my the company Tribe was still like going. So literally, we would have like performances every weekend in Maryland, like literally just back to back to back. So there's this guy who tried to hire us for like this old head, like Coupe de Calais, like legend. And he's like, oh, we want you guys to choreograph to 12 songs in 1 week. Understand this? 12 songs in 1 week. And then, so we're like, okay, we'll get it done, Here's contract, here's the money. This man invites us over to his house, has his wife cooking for us, giving us drinks, like welcoming us. He's like, I understand, I respect this, all that good stuff. So we're thinking he gets it. Then when we give him the contract, he sees the price, then he calls me, he's like, Izzy, no. This can't be true. I know you would not do this to me, Can you? Then he's like, oh, I was gonna pay you guys $100 per dancer. I said, for what? Taxi? Uber? Like, what are you talking? He's like, for the performance. And I'm like, for 12 songs in 1 week, you think I'm going to accept $100? You think I'm gonna ask someone to dance for $100? Like, that's why you wonder how much a pair of shoes are. Like, are you crazy? But it's like, people have the nerve to ask because they're like, oh, it will be exposure. And I'm like, how exposed are you? Like, how much exposure are you really giving? If I wanted to expose myself, I will go on Instagram. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, you have to build your resume. There always has to be a balance. Like, there's some people where they're like, okay, Izzy, like, yo, I'm doing this at so and so. I really don't have the budget right now, but it makes sense for me because I'm like, okay, this person's dope. I like what you're doing. I can create to what you're doing. It's short. But if you're telling me to come and do 12 songs and you want to pay me $100, that makes no sense. Like, what is that, currency? That's not currency. Just greatness and vibes. I'm gonna still continue traveling. I'm gonna try coming to Nigeria more often. Now I really want to travel to Asia. So like literally just this different continent. Like I'm trying to touch every continent and push it as much as possible. I want to do more tours with artists, but then again, it's like you have to be telling me something that makes sense. Just networking, breaking more barriers, opening more doors, like being part of the movement of dancers just creating their own path. Yeah, man. I'm not trying to conquer Nigeria. So my goal is not to like conquer Nigeria. My goal, honestly, is to create structure in the US, because like I feel like, okay, in Nigeria there's more structure compared to any other place. Yes, like okay, compare, like I mean, okay, the dance scene, right? There's more structure here. Like you have your cafe, like so if you want video, you have West Side Life. So like if you know you need dancers for so and so, if you know you need a live performance, you have people that you're going to reach out to. You have like, she has her dance company, right? So she can pull from these different people. So yes, we still have like a lot of growth, but there's more structure here than in Europe. There's like a plethora of dancers. Then you have your Izzy, who's like, okay, doing choreography for like live events, concerts and stuff like that. So in the US, it's like we're still growing, and now it's like the forefront is more classes, even though that's not really what I set out to do, but it's like, it's a blessing that I gladly received. But I want to like create that structure so when you're coming to the US, it's like, yo, hit Izzy up. You need choreography, you need live events, you need quality dancers, you're willing to pay, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're willing to pay, definitely, you know, hit me up and we'll get it done. Huge shout out to Vibe.ng for having me. Follow them, subscribe, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything. Yes, thank you guys so much for having me. Yes.
Sexy lady, she blow my mind. This girl, she one of a kind. I ask the baby mama, baby shake it, give it to me, dominate. Let's do money, let's dominate. Let's go. It's a mad combo. What's that your boyfriend? I don't know. Yeah, all the girls them are running.